think Peyton is feeling knowing Osweiler has left and let's say he didn't have to make that decision for retirement or continuing to maybe play elsewhere. Is there any part of Peyton who says, you know what, I could still play another year in Denver?
Well, I think that's all past. I'm sure they had those discussions and talked about the what ifs in that 2 or 3 week period when all this was going on. What if Osweiler doesn't come back? What's going to happen there? So I don't think he looks at it now as this being unforeseen and all of a sudden things have changed. I think that landscape was probably discussed also.
When's the last time you talked to him?
I talked to Peyton Saturday night, be right before the announcement. He, called Saturday night and said, "I'm going to announce my retirement." And we had a short conversation, and we've texted a couple times since then. But he was at peace with things and feeling like that was the right way to go.
Has he talked to you about TV?
We have not. We have not talked about the future. I was with Marvin Harrison on Monday at the Hall of Fame, and Marvin asked him, what he's going to do, what his plans are, what he's thinking. He said, "Oh, Marv, I haven't thought about that." And Marvin and I both laughed.
There's no way.
There's nothing that he hasn't already thought about. But that just means he hasn't made up his mind yet. He's thought about it.
But I wonder if, not to demean those who do TV, because you do TV, but it feels like that's not enough for Peyton. Am I reading him correctly? You know him.
I'll tell you what the difference that I see in Peyton is those two twins. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I'd say, hey, he might want to get involved in this, that he might want to run a team, he might want to own a team, he might want to be the GM, he might want to do 5,000 things. But I know that as those twins have grown, they have become more and more special to him. So he's going to factor that in. He wants to do a lot, and he's not a guy who can sit still, but he's also not going to want to be totally away from his family and his kids. So the landscape, I think, has changed a little bit for him in the last 4 years.